Ooh. Ah, the most epic movie of all time. I love this movie. I'm not scared of it at all. I think I should watch this at Halloween, maybe. Oh my god. I am not scared of a good movie because this is one of the most epic films of all time. I would be scared if I saw a bad movie. Hey guys, it's Daniel here, and today is Halloween. Okay, I'm gonna stop because that was a terrible rendition of a evil laugh from a Halloween special, and I know I just ticked a lot of you off, but but seriously, it is Halloween, the season where you get to scare people, and these scars are real. No, seriously, they're real. I don't know how these scars keep getting on my face, it's just that they keep happening, so we're trying to find a cure to get them removed. But anyway, how am I going to celebrate this particular Halloween? Well, I'm going to do the one thing I did for Christmas, a top 10. And today, I'm going to be giving you my top 10 favourite Halloween specials. Now, before I begin, I just want to let you know that not all of these are Halloween specials. So sometimes they don't set on Halloween, and they're not really that scary, but it's just something that I would love to watch on Halloween. And many of you might agree with me, and some of you might disagree with me. But as long as we can accept this, everything's going to be just fine. So if your favourite Halloween special isn't on this list, let me know in the comment section below. So anyway, sit back, relax, enjoy your bag of candy, but don't eat candy late at night, or else you'll get nightmares tonight, and enjoy my top 10 favourite Halloween specials. Doing cutaway jokes while trying to get some candy back from bullies is my number 10 choice, Halloween on Spooner Street from Family Guy. And again, this isn't really that scary of a special, it's just our favourite characters from Family Guy doing what they do best, and that's making us laugh. And I did find this episode to be really funny. And there are three main stories in this episode. The first one focuses on Peter and Joe playing some Halloween pranks on Quagmire, and then Quagmire decides to get revenge on them near the end of the episode. And then the second story is about Meg going to a Halloween party to go make out with a boyfriend, and I won't give away how this story ends, but it's so disgusting that it's hilarious. But I think the best story in this episode, in my opinion, is where Stewie and Brian go out for Stewie's first trick-or-treat, and then Stewie's sweets get stolen by some bullies, and so he has to get them back. Stewie is honestly my favourite Family Guy character, and this story is definitely one of the best. And so, it's not really that scary of a special, but it's just seeing our favourite characters doing what they do best. And that's to make us laugh, and that's why it's number 10. Oh, I'm gonna get you. Ah, I'm so scared easily. It's my number 9 choice, Scaredy Pants from SpongeBob. In this episode, SpongeBob is sick and tired of trying to scare everyone, but he gets scared easily, and everyone calls him SpongeBob Scaredy Pants. So he tries to dress himself as the Flying Dutchman's ghost to try and scare everyone at a Halloween party. It's really cute and hilarious trying to see him trying to scare everyone, and I also find it really funny seeing Patrick trying to help him and trying to notice the difference between him and a real ghost, especially in this scene.
What's the difference between that ghost and me?
No, wait, don't tell me. Don't tell me! Don't tell me! Don't tell me! I can do this! I can do this! Don't tell me! Don't tell me! Don't tell me!
And speaking of hilarious, I don't want to give away the ending of this episode, but it's one of the most hilarious and clever endings to an episode I have ever seen. This ending is so gross that it's hilarious, kind of like in the Family Guy episode. And you all know how much of a fan I am of SpongeBob SquarePants. I loved it as a kid, and I still kind of like it as an adult, even though I'm not really an adult yet. I'm still as young as ever, and this episode is definitely one of the funniest, and that's why it's number 9. 9, not 8, at 9. We're gonna get to 8 right now. Wow, I love watching cartoons. Oh, but now the villain's taking over my channel. And you all know what I'm talking about. My number 8 choice is Mickey's House of Villains. This is a bit of a full-length feature film based on the Disney Channel House of Mouse. And this film was released sometime while the show was still airing. In this special, a lot of the Disney villains and characters go to the House of Mouse to spend time there for Halloween and watch some spooky Mickey Mouse cartoons. But while they're showing the cartoons, Jafar from Aladdin and some of the other villains make a plan to steal the House of Mouse and kick Mickey and his friends out. And so basically, Mickey and his friends have to find a way to get back in the House of Mouse and take it back. Now, when I was younger, I used to be a huge fan of Mickey Mouse. I loved watching cartoons. When I was younger, I used to watch Mickey Mouse Clubhouse all the time. I don't watch it now because it's a bit toddlerish, but I still remember the nostalgic memories I had when I was being a fan of House of Mouse. And I love watching the House of Mouse show. And seeing this movie kind of reminded me so much of why I love Mickey Mouse to begin with. The cartoons that they show are so likable. It's like the classic cartoons were The Loons and Ghosts, Donald Duck and the Gorilla, and Trick or Treat. And the new cartoons released are Mickey's Mechanical House, How to Hunt a House, Dance of the Goofies, Don's Halloween Scare, and probably the best cartoon in this movie, the Mickey and Minnie Mouse version of Hansel and Gretel. I loved this movie. I loved how the villains were taking their House of Mouse, and this movie has one of the most catchiest Disney songs I've ever heard. So yeah, I love that song, It's Our House Now. It's so damn catchy. My only 2 issues with this special is, one, they spend most of the movie showing cartoons, which I do love. I do love the cartoons. It's just that I wish they could have done more with the villains. And secondly, this is a 68-minute movie, and the villains don't take over the House of Mouse until 45 minutes in. I'm not exaggerating that, I saw the time code. But overall, I still really like this movie, and it reminds me why I loved watching Mickey Mouse cartoons. To make sure that Greg doesn't cause any more problems is my number 7 choice, Greg Picketis. I hope that's how you pronounce his name, from Parks and Recreation. Now, I haven't seen all of the show, but from what I've seen so far, I'm a big Parks and Recreation fan. I know why people really like it so much, and I do love this episode. There are 2 main stories in the episode. The main story in this episode is seeing Leslie Knope trying to stop a boy by the name of Greg from trying to vandalize the Parks and Recreation community, and to stop him from throwing toilet paper all over the statue. But she's having a hard time trying to get a word out of this girl with the help of Andy Dwyer and her cop boyfriend Dave. And then we have this other side story following Anne as she tries to have a Halloween party, but it doesn't go too well until Tom comes in to save the day. While I'm not that fond on the character of Anne, I do find her pretty cute story. And the story with Leslie, Andy, and Dave trying to get word out of this boy is so hilarious. Especially with Andy, played by Chris Pratt, wink wink. Episodes where Andy tries to get word out of Greg, but Greg ends up making Andy cry. I find it both adorable and super hilarious, and it's one of the reasons why I love Chris Pratt, because it shows his gosh darn charm. If you're a fan of Parks and Recreation, you should go check this episode out. And just wait until you see how Tom makes this party interesting. It's so anticlimactic that it's hilarious. Arr, this beast has come to get your carrots. And that's my number 6 choice, Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Now, if it wasn't for this movie, I wouldn't be a huge fan of Wallace and Gromit like I am right now. I love these short films, but before I became a fan of the short films, I saw Wallace and Gromit's first feature-length film, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. And I love this movie. It's one of the best Aardman films I have ever seen, with one of the best twists I've ever seen. Because the twist about the were-rabbit in this movie is so shocking that when I first saw the movie, it took me completely by surprise. It was a great twist. Without giving away any spoilers, this twist is a twist that I never saw coming. And the animation is so fluid and kind of expressive because they use stop motion animation. It must have been hard trying to make these characters move using shot by shot with every camera frame, especially for the were-rabbit. So did they have to use like cloth on the were-rabbit to make it real? But that I digress. And the voice acting is spectacular, especially from Peter Sellers' performance as Wallace. I felt sorry for him, and again, I felt sorry for Wallace in this movie, especially when the twist in the film starts happening. You really feel sorry for this guy. And Gromit is so adorable. You can clearly tell that he wants to protect his master and also trying to grow a melon. He doesn't say a single word, but you can tell by expressions and body language that you can know what he's feeling. So yeah, in a lot of Halloweens, I shall enjoy watching Wallace and Gromit for the Curse of the Were-Rabbit, and I am always a Wallace and Gromit fan. Telling stories in a treehouse is my number 5 choice, The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episodes. 2 reasons. 1, I haven't seen all of them, I have seen a few. And second, I know there's loads of these things, but if I were to number them episode by episode, they take up the whole list. They're that good. These episodes have the kids and maybe some fake stories, like telling 3 spooky stories in each episode. And everybody's going to look forward to seeing the 2 aliens, whether they're just part of the story or just a one-off cameo. I find these stories pretty hilarious and also kind of terrifying. Like I said, I haven't seen all of them, I have seen a couple, but the ones I've seen, I found hilarious. And one of my favourite stories in these episodes, including with Treehouse of Horror 5, is The Shining, which is supposed to be a reference to Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. I'm a big fan of Kubrick's The Shining. It's probably the best horror film I've ever seen. And this episode does do a good job at parodying the original film. And I do find it really hilarious to see Homer go crazy over having no TV or beer. I found that hilarious. So, The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episodes, you won't be eating candy tonight because these idiotic characters are going to scare you to death. Ogre! I'm an ogre. And that's right, my number 4 choice for the best Halloween specials is Scared Shrekless. This was a Shrek special released after Shrek Forever After, and I think it's flipping hilarious. In this special, Shrek, Donkey, Puss, Pinocchio, and lots of other friends go to old Castle Duloc, where Lord Farquaad lived and died. And basically, they try to tell each scary stories to see who would become the king of Halloween. And they tell 3 spooky stories, just like in the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episodes. The first one is the gingerbread man telling a story about his awful wife, which is kind of based off of Bride of Frankenstein. And the second story is about Donkey and Puss going to a motel that's kind of based off of Psycho. And yeah, it's kind of based off of Psycho, mostly because of that shower scene. And then the third story is about Shrek babysitting Pinocchio that's kind of based on The Exorcist. These stories have a ridiculous sense of humor to them, that I can find hilariousness in them, especially Donkey and Puss's story. They keep trying to one-up each other of how the story should go and how the story should end, that it's hilarious to see them crash with each other, especially with those 2 shower scenes. Oh my god. So yeah, well, when I ever want to watch a Shrek movie, I could either watch the movies, or I could either watch Scared Shrekless. Watch some spooky movies tonight. In the number 3 spot, Horror Club from Steven Universe. Now, you all know my true feelings about Steven Universe. I absolutely adore that show. It's probably my favourite Cartoon Network show of all time. And all the drama, humour, likeable characters and story is all included in this one particular Halloween episode. Now, it's not really that much of a Halloween episode because it's never clear whether it's on Halloween or not. But it is a pretty horror Halloween special that I could watch on a Halloween. In the special, Steven, Renato, Sadie and Lars go up to the lighthouse to spend Halloween and watch some spooky films. But they find out that the lighthouse is haunted, which Renato knows perfectly. Not only do I feel like that this house is so mysterious, but the best thing about this episode is the exchange between Lars and Renato. These exchanges are so hilarious that I kind of almost, my ears kind of hurt. I don't know if they hurt a lot, but I just find these scenes ridiculously funny and cute. And the reason I say cute is because at the end of this episode, there's a little bit of a backstory between Lars and Renato that they used to be friends, but they then broke up because of some circumstances. I won't say what it is, but it's such a powerful scene that really sympathize with Renato as a character. So yeah, Horror Club, love it, love Steven Universe. Boo! Now for my number 2 choice, I know a lot of people are really going to find this shocking, especially since this special is a famous special. And don't get me wrong, I am a huge fan of this special. I love it to death. It's one of the best specials I've ever seen in this franchise that I'm about to talk about. And the fact that I didn't put it at number 1 might shock a lot of people. In fact, I was going to put it at number 1 until I remembered that there's another horror spooky kids franchise that I grew up before I saw the special. So that's why I put that in number 1 and not this in number 1. But it's number 2 anyway, so it's still fantastic. So, what is my number 2 choice? Well, that number 2 choice is... It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown! This is a fine example of how to make a Peanuts special. I mean, I love this special. I'm a big fan of the Peanuts franchises. Like, Charlie Brown Christmas, He's a Bully, Charlie Brown, Happy New Year's Eve, Charlie Brown. And of course, it's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. I just find it really cute and hilarious seeing Linus talk about the Great Pumpkin, and I find it hilarious how people get annoyed at him, especially with Lucy. She's always getting on Linus's case about the Great Pumpkin. And Linus himself is a cute character, and I honestly wanted him to get his wish. And there's a scene near the end of the special where he actually believes that he saw the Great Pumpkin. Like, the Great Pumpkin is rising out, he's like, what's that? It's the Great Pumpkin! Oh my god. I won't give away how this joke ends, but I just find it a really funny scene. And you'll know how I feel about Peanuts. In fact, last year on my favourite Christmas specials, I put a Charlie Brown Christmas on the list. And that's the same here with the Charlie Brown special, because I love the Charlie Brown specials. I love the Peanuts specials. I love the Peanuts movie in 2015. And this special is definitely one of the greatest. And that's why I think it's number 2. Now, here we are at the number 1 spot. And before I tell you what the number 1 spot is, a lot of people are going to find it shocking because there's a whole lot of franchises in the number 1 spot that many people are going to find shocking and feel like they're cheating. But if I were to number them bit by bit, they take up over the list, like a 100 list. I think they're that good, and I have grown up loving these specials ever since. So, what is my number 1 choice? What is the number 1 Halloween special that I could watch on a Halloween basis? Well, that is the Scooby-Doo franchise. Words cannot describe the hilariousness and nostalgic feelings that I felt when I was a little toddler always watching Scooby-Doo. I am a big Scooby-Doo fan. I love the show. I love each and every one of the films. I especially love the film Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. It's probably my favourite Scooby-Doo film. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. And all the other Scooby-Doo franchises are beautiful as well. Yes, they can be really repetitive. The gang going off to try and find some ghosts, but they find out that the ghosts are not real, they're just bad guys in a mask. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy eat loads of food. Yes, they can be ridiculous, but I'm not having a problem with the cliches as long as they're done right. And in most of the Scooby-Doo franchises, these cliches are done right. Especially the ridiculous situations that Shaggy and Scooby get into. They are two of my favourite characters in the ice, because their ridiculousness and situations always had me laughing whenever they would run away from ghosts and scream at ghosts, or whenever they would just go to like a restaurant or a buffet to get a bite to eat. I mean, I cannot get enough of these characters, and I love the exchanges between those two. Even in the live-action films, while not that successful, I find their exchanges still to be hilarious. So yeah, if you're a fan of the Scooby-Doo franchise and you agree with me, you're gonna have a lot of fun watching a lot of Scooby-Doo franchises. In fact, I might just watch Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island just to get a nostalgic feeling of why I love watching Scooby-Doo shows and movies. And that's why the Scooby-Doo franchise are my #1 Halloween special. And that, ladies and gentlemen, are my top 10 favourite Halloween specials. And I know it wasn't that much of an inspiring video because I'm just saying the repeat thing over and over again, but I'm just a little bit tired, so that's why I'm not really that inspiring. But I hope you enjoyed my top 10 favourite Halloween specials, and I want to ask you this question: what is your favourite Halloween special? Did you agree with this? Did you disagree with this? Did you feel like I left any Halloween specials that left out? Let me know in the comment section below. And anyway, I'm Daniel, reviewing movies, TV shows, doing videos, and is there a ghost again? I just help. Is it gone? Are the ghosts gone? Okay. I'm Daniel, reviewing movies, TV shows, doing videos, and I can't say anything. Till then, please stop.